Right, what I'm going to do now is we're going to move to the notice of motion on the director's fees. And then what we're going to do is, given how it will be a contentious issue, I want to do that, and then I want to have a 15-minute break, and then I want to start the actual. So we'll deal with that. Then we're going to have a 15-minute break as a council. Everyone can go outside, get some fresh air, and then come back in, and we're going to go through everything else. So I'll hand over to Melanie. I don't know if there's staff presenting.
I was just going to go on to debate.
So you just move your.
I'll move and second Tari. Yep.
Cool. So you can do it.
So back in January 2023, which was not long after we all into office for this term, we signed off on our policy for the treatment of directors' fees. So in essence, it requires that elected members selected for boards where they earned fees, that these payments minus tax are paid into the Mayor's Welfare Fund in the year in which they are received. This policy is easiest to adhere to when the organisations that pay directors' fees to our councillors do so directly into the Mayor's Welfare Fund, which is why I've included that request of the one organisation that does not do that in the notice of motion today. As city councillors, we have the opportunity and the privilege to serve on boards in our council capacity. Through this policy, we agreed not to use that privilege to personally benefit from directorship appointments, but instead use any payments to support the welfare of Christchurch residents facing severe financial hardship. The public expect us to act with honesty and integrity, so it's incumbent on councillors that we all uphold all facets of this policy that we agreed to at the start of this council term.
Does anyone else want to debate it?
I'll just ask a question.
No, we're in debate now, so it's really just so Aaron and then.
I never supported the policy at the time. The policy, I think, doesn't make sense. It's kind of points in the direction that a directorship is not valued. We don't ask the other directors on there to do it for nothing. I come from a world where if you ask someone to do overtime, they get paid for it and they do it properly, which alludes me to a story, and I won't use names because that would be not the thing to do. But I remember when a paper for one of the directorships come up, and one director rings another director and says, "Oh, what were your thoughts on that item?" And the person who had voted for the policy said, "I haven't read it. We're not paid to be there." From this council table. So that is one of the consequences that is one of the consequences you will get when you have directorships that are like this. And it's odd. It's something I don't agree with. It's very untimely that this comes to the council table today. It feels kind of vindictive and nasty, and I don't think that people are sprayed and are being well represented here. With a notice of motion like this, and there was a word recently used in Parliament which was an interesting C word, which
don't go there.
Sorry,
don't go there.
Well, it was used, and I was going to use one here today, which is another one, communism, which is one that gets bandied around Parliament as well, and that is something that, I don't think works.
Long bow.
Yeah, although, Russia did pretty well for a few years, and they're doing well again at the moment, of course. But I don't think this is the right place for this, and it's not really other councillors' position to make judgment on other councillors on when they will pay. I've seen a response from Jamie on how he is applying those fees and when they will be paid, and I'm sure the councillor who's put this notice of motion went to Jamie and asked and must have got an unsatisfactory answer, and so put the notice of motion, and it's really unfortunate. It's another word that's common in Parliament, divisive, and I think it doesn't have a place at this council table, so I won't be supporting it. And to be honest, I'll be really disappointed with every councillor that does support it today. and no doubt there will be a few, but you know, I'll look you in the eye in the car park after and say I'm disappointed in the way you voted, because I am.
Okay, I've got Sarah and then Tim, and then we probably have heard enough from each side to, so, yeah.
I wasn't going to debate this today, but something that Councillor Kewen just said absolutely appalled me. It appalled me that there is a councillor that sits around this table who, knowing that the positions were not paid, put their hand up for a directorship role with no intent to do the mahi, which implies that they were doing it just for the title and career advancement in the future. Anyone who puts their hand up to do the work of a director, puts their hand up to do the work to represent the council and the people of the city around a board table, for anyone to say that they are going to get the directorship, not get paid and so not do the work, simply appalls me. And whoever that is just shouldn't be a director and should just stand down and let someone else who wants to do the work. Thank you.
Tim, and then we're probably.
Thank you. Apart from all the emotive words being used, I am actually really disappointed with the whole thing. My understanding is that every single councillor here have come for a reason, and that is to do the best we can for our communities, but also the city. So when I applied for directorships, I have that first in mind. I realise that I'm not a genius. I am successful and self-made, but I know that I've got the opportunities on these directorships because of my position here at council. So I'm fully aware that I am always answerable to the people of Christchurch and my community. I'm of the understanding, and I did vote to support funds going to the Mural Fund. I'll make that clear. I don't believe there's a single councillor here that would go for an appointment in a directorship and not be expecting to do the mahi. I absolutely don't. I don't believe it at all. I have total respect for all of my colleagues at this table. I am kind of dumbfounded because when you're dealing with taxes, etc., and you're getting another income which you don't receive because it's going through your books, I would be sitting there with my accountant, but my accountant costs me money to sit with. They're not doing it for a favour. Same with my lawyer. I am sitting there being charged for every 6 minutes, and I'm bloody well aware of that. So I will not be supporting this. I totally understand the essence behind it, but I do believe that everybody is paying their fees, whether it takes them 12 months or 6 months or whatever. I don't believe in 30 days. It's unpractical because you have to be sitting there at some stage with your accountant working it out. Some of you obviously don't have to, but that's fine. We're all in a different world, but it's all reality, and we're all sitting here for the same reason. Really disappointed about some of the barbs across the table. Let's keep focused on why we're actually here, and that is for the people of Christchurch. Thank you.
I'll wrap up now. I'll wrap up.
Yeah, we're finished. Yeah, I want to acknowledge all the councillors that are on boards. I'm not debating anyone's work ethics here, but we have had this policy in place for over 2 years. So there's been over 2 years, and it also does not require an accountant to do this. I've got fees I receive from Christchurch PHO, and I just pay what's left over from the tax every time I receive the money. So it's a very simple process. And I just want to reiterate that our policy does say that fees will be paid into the Mayor's Welfare Fund in which they are received. So I think the public expect us to act with honesty and integrity and agree, and it's agreed. Thanks.
Okay, so I think we're nearly there. We'll put it to vote. The only point I would make is that, and it's probably to Tim's, is there are circumstances where it is different. People are still donating money, but sometimes accountants are required. So, and I would say that being an accountant. Okay, so let's put Mel's notice of motion to the vote. All in favour?
Aye.
Against?
No.
Yeah, so let's do a division, please.
Okay, this is a division for item 19, the notice of motion. Councillor Templeton.
Aye.
Councillor McClellan.
Aye.
Councillor McDonald.
No.
Councillor Johansson. Councillor Fields.
Aye.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Donovan.
Yes.
Councillor Koga.
Yes.
Councillor Peters,
No.
Mayor.
No.
Councillor Scandron.
No.
Councillor Barber.
No.
Councillor Keelan.
No.
Councillor Henstock.
No.
This is corruption. We need to.
Councillor Harrison Hunt is absent.
Corresponding with Christchurch.
Can we actually keep the chatter down, guys?
Vote.
Deputy Moore, Mayor.
Aye.
So for the ayes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. James is,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So status quo.
Same, 1, 2, I'll just double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Therefore,
It's two abstentions.
status quo.
Okay, so that is status quo. So everyone go outside for 15 minutes and we'll come back and start with Sam coming.
That's fine.